Do bad habits keep you from living the life you really want? Do you keep making the same mistakes or getting stuck in habits like putting things off, getting distracted, or doubting your own abilities? The famous warrior Miyamoto Musashi learned how to be disciplined and in control of himself. His lessons can help you break free. In this video, we'll look into Musashi's timeless advice and learn 7 effective ways to break bad habits and get your focus, strength, and purpose back. Step 1. Make the habit invisible. Do nothing that is useless, Musashi said one time. A bad habit is something that you do that doesn't help you. If you want to break a habit, the first thing you need to do is hide it from yourself so it can't tempt you. Most habits happen because they are simple to get to. It's possible that you eat unhealthy food because it's easy to get to. Your phone is always with you, which is why you waste time on social media. Distractions are all around you when you put things off. Getting rid of these habits is the key to getting rid of them for good. Musashi was known for living a simple life. He didn't have many things and only kept what he needed. It wasn't just about keeping things simple, it was a plan. He knew that the things around us affect how we act. Things shouldn't be in your life if they don't help you reach your goals. You have to make it hard to do something bad if you want to stop it. If you have trouble with spending too much time in front of a screen, get rid of social media apps, turn off alerts, or block websites. Don't buy junk food if you want to stop snacking on it. If it's not in your house, you won't eat it. Take cigarettes out of your space and stay away from places that make you want to smoke if you want to stop. There is no power in a habit that you can hide. Your brain will start to forget about something if it is hard to get to. Instead, you'll start to form better habits that move you forward instead of backward. Getting rid of things that don't help you is the first step to mastering yourself. You should get rid of the things that slow you down, just like a fighter doesn't bring extra weight into battle. Step 2. Interrupt the pattern. Musashi thought that planning was the most important thing. He never let an enemy get into a groove when they were fighting him. He would always change how he did things, which kept his enemies off balance and unable to guess what he would do next. This rule is useful not only in battle, but also in our everyday lives. Repetition is good for habits. When you do something bad, your brain does something that it does all the time. It is very hard to break bad habits because they are so natural. This is why you always grab your phone when you wake up or eat bad food when you're stressed. Your brain has been trained to do things in a certain way. You have to break the pattern to get out of this loop. When you want to do a bad habit, you should do something completely different. You should not check your phone in the morning if you normally do so. Instead, you should stretch or meditate to start the day. If you put things off by watching TV, turn it off right away and get to work. Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. Musashi said a lot about being able to change. This means we have to be ready to let go of the ways we usually think and act. Your brain gets confused when you break a habit. It wakes you up and makes you aware of what you're doing. You get back in charge when you break the routine. You stop being a slave to old habits and become in charge of what you do. Step 3. Make the habit annoying. Musashi Miyamoto lived by the idea of self-mastery and discipline. He thought that a warrior had to be in charge of his habits, thoughts, and deeds. Anything that makes you weaker or takes your attention away from your goal must be gotten rid of. Making a bad habit so annoying, uncomfortable, or difficult that you don't want to do it is one of the best ways to break it. People keep up bad habits because they are easy and fun to do. Because your brain wants to feel good, it naturally leans toward habits that make you feel good right away, even if they hurt you in the long run. It's hard to stop doing things like eating junk food, putting things off, spending too much, and wasting time on social media because they make you feel good in the short term. What if you could turn this around, though? How about making your bad habits so annoying that your brain starts to avoid them? Musashi taught himself to be okay with being uncomfortable, and he used struggle to make his mind stronger. He turned down luxury, lived a simple life, and was always pushing himself to the limit. In order to be a strong warrior, he knew that he had to face obstacles and say no to temptations. You need to think this way about your bad habits as well. Put your alarm clock on the other side of the room so you have to get out of bed to turn it off. This will help you stop hitting the snooze button. Make your phone's screen look dull by setting it to grayscale if you want to stop spending too much time on it. If you want to stop eating bad food, make yourself drink a full glass of water before every snack. Often, you'll no longer want to eat. Adding a penalty to your habit is another powerful method. Make it a rule that every time you buy something you don't need, you have to give $10 to charity. If you put things off, give a friend $20. You'll get it back if you finish on time. If you make the habit expensive or unpopular, it will be very hard for you to keep doing it. Musashi taught that planned suffering is the best way to build discipline. If you make your bad habits annoying, you will start to fight them on their own. Over time, your mind will connect those habits with pain, which will make it easier to break free and develop the discipline you need to be great. Step 4. Commit to a 30-day challenge. Miyamoto Musashi thought that the only way to become a master was to practice hard every day and never give up. He said, "The way you train is the way you fight." To put it another way, the habits you form every day make you who you are. If you want to break a bad habit, you have to follow a structured time of discipline, like a 30-day challenge to do away with the habit for good. Why 30 days? Because that's how long it takes to change the way your brain works and start making a new personality. A lot of people fail to break bad habits because they wait for a reason. Some people say, "I'll give up or try to do less of it." But having vague goals will lead to unclear outcomes. Instead, you should make a clear rule that you will not break. You will not do the habit for the next 30 days, no matter what. Musashi didn't give himself the chance to think things over. He knew that doubt could kill him, so when he went into war, he gave it his all. Getting rid of bad habits requires the same way of thinking. If you let yourself cheat just a little, your mind will come up with reasons to go backwards. It's time to make up your mind for good and then stick to it. It's not just about giving up a bad habit. This task is also about showing yourself that you are in charge. Before 30 days of not doing their bad habits, many people think they can't live without them. But after that time, they often learn they don't need them at all. Daily progress checks are one of the best ways to stay on track. Mark each good day on a calendar, a habit tracker, or a journal. Seeing your run get longer will keep you going. Accountability can also be a very useful tool. Talk to a friend about your task, or find a group of people who want to do the same thing you do. Fear of breaking a promise to someone else makes you more likely to stay on track. When the 30 days are over, you'll be stronger, more focused, and in charge of everything you do. Just like Musashi taught, you will have broken free from the chains of habit and taken a huge step toward being in charge of yourself. Step 5. Link it to an identity shift. Miyamoto Musashi thought that the mind is where real control starts and that to be great, one must first see themselves as they want to be. This way of thinking helps people break bad habits by changing who they are so that these habits don't fit with who they are now. A lot of people fail to break bad habits because they only think about the action and not the thought process that goes along with it. This makes them feel conflicted because they want to change how they act but still see themselves as the old person. Do nothing that is of no use was a principle that guided Musashi's life. It meant that everything he did, thought, and did must have a bigger purpose. In order to break a bad habit, one must also change the way they talk about themselves. This simple change in language changes the way a person thinks about themselves, and once that happens, their behaviors will change too. To form disciplined and sure of themselves habits, a person needs to think and act like a disciplined person. Once they accept their new identity, bad habits will no longer seem like a choice. Instead, they will seem like something that was a part of their old self. Musashi also said that people don't change quickly, but the journey starts when they decide what they want to become. When someone changes who they are, their habits will change too. Step 6. Reward progress, not just results. Miyamoto Musashi thought that you can't become a master quickly. He thought that you had to work hard and be disciplined over time. Focusing on the end goal instead of the progress along the way is one of the worst things people do when they are trying to break bad habits. Focusing on results right away can make you give up and give up. Every small victory along the way should be recognized and celebrated as a reward for success. This creates positive reinforcement and keeps people motivated to keep going. Musashi's teachings stress that every day of training is a win, and that every fight, technique learned, and mistake fixed is a step toward mastery. This idea can help you break bad habits, like being addicted to social media or not moving enough. Reward shouldn't be something fancy, it should be something easy, like extra free time, buying a small gift, or just recognizing success in your mind. Musashi's concept of perceiving that which cannot be seen with the eye means realizing that growth takes place inside you before it shows up on the outside. It is very important to believe that every focused action is making you stronger and better. By rewarding success, you change the way you think about breaking habits. You start to see it as a way to master yourself, and you start to enjoy the challenge. This is when real change starts. Step 7. Build a system, not just willpower. Miyamoto Musashi didn't just use willpower to become a master. He knew that real strength comes from setting up processes that help you succeed in the long run. If you've ever tried to break a habit with just your strength, you know how hard it is. Willpower wears off quickly when we're tired, worried, or overloaded. Our bad habits can take over when it's gone. That's why making a plan is so important in the fight against bad habits. A system is a set of actions that are done on purpose and over again to achieve success. You don't have to force yourself to be strong every day. Instead, you need to set up your surroundings and habits in a way that makes success inevitable. Musashi's discipline wasn't something he did by force of will, it was something he did over and over again. It didn't take him long to get motivated. He made his life so that discipline came naturally and his habits were in line with his long-term goals. When you think of a system, you can picture a framework that makes the good behavior easier and the bad habits harder. For instance, if you want to stop eating junk food, don't count on your willpower to keep you from giving in every time you see the snack area. Make it so that junk food never gets into your house in the first place. Make sure healthy options are easy to get to and that you have plenty of them. With this method in place, the only thing you can do when you're hungry is eat something healthy. One more example is when you want to make exercise a regular part of your life. Make it a habit to go to the gym every day instead of depending on willpower to get you there. Set your alarm for the same time every day, lay out your gym clothes the night before, and find a workout buddy to hold you responsible. You will need less mental energy to use this method if you make it more automatic. The idea of always being ready was at the heart of Musashi's plan. Each day, he would work out to get ready for any task that came his way. In the same way, you need to get ready by making processes that help you make changes in your life that last instead of relying on short-lived willpower. Build systems that make it easy to make the right choices and hard to make the wrong ones. This takes away the battle and replaces it with a steady flow of good habits that help you reach your goals. This is the key to getting rid of bad habits and living a disciplined, masterful life.